And I've got a problem as usual. It's a psychological dilemma. My favorite comedian, Jerry Seinfeld, is a hardcore Zionist. Right? If anybody's seen my podcast studio, would notice that I have two comedians on the shelf there. One is Chris Rock, two is Jerry Seinfeld. These are the two comedians that inspired me to do stand-up comedy. I've loved Jerry Seinfeld's writing, his approach to comedy, his philosophies about comedy for a long time. But this brah, he's always posing with the IDF, with the IOF, the Israeli Occupation Forces. He's always posing like dudes with big guns that kill Palestinian grandmothers and kids. What's the deal with equality? Look here, I don't know if he's a hardcore Zionist. I kind of hope that he's one of those Zionists, which I think is most Zionists, that have their head in the sand. They believe in the initial idea of Zionism as a safe haven for Jewish people to escape persecution, you know, and they ignoring the fact that they're just obliterating a whole group of people. They don't, there's a cognitive dissonance. They don't accept that information because it's two conflicting ideas that are existing concurrently in the brain, right? So they don't accept that. Those are Hamas figures. These guys with the massive guns, they're peace-loving people. Let's take a selfie. You know? So I don't know what to do. Like, do I boycott Seinfeld? I appreciate Seinfeld. I just hope, dude, please come to the light, because the change has to come from within Israel, right? The people of Israel, like what happened here in South Africa, a large amount of people need to realize that the idea of superiority is a false premise. What's the deal with equality? We're clearly superior to everybody. What do you mean that all people can be equal from the river to the sea? What's the deal with that? Right? You know, just it needs to change, you know. Like in South Africa, you know, we all, people of all races and backgrounds have equal rights in South Africa. Before, it was just supremacy of a certain group, and to a certain extent the legacy of that supremacy still continues. But from a legal perspective, everybody's equal. Everybody has rights, and now we just need to build and ensure that the reality of the law reflects the reality of the world, that we have fairness, right? So I'm hoping that happens in Israel, because the change has to come from within, you know, because the idea of superiority is a false premise. The ideal of humanity and equality of everybody, and everybody having equal value as humans, and us as humans deciding that we're going to respect that equal value of all people. And no matter what your background is, you are fighting for that right, that value that exists within that amazing spark of life that has been ordained on that person. You fight for that, because in essence, that's the most important thing. That spark of life, right, that was decided by something much greater than you. That is the essence of why we exist. So we need to respect that. So come on, Jay! Please!